Welcome to Liberate Your People Pleaser. I am your host, Brenda Florida, certified life coach, and you might be a people pleaser if you sacrifice your needs or your wants or your feelings to benefit someone else, or you keep silent when something bothers you or upsets you, or you're super critical and feel like you're probably your own worst enemy. Well, here's what I've got in store for you for this podcast. First of all, there's nothing wrong with you and you don't need fixing. What we need to do is leverage the superpowers of being a people pleaser, because there are definite superpowers. You are super intuitive, I am sure. You have great powers of empathy, the ability to read a situation and know what's going on with people and those around you. So what we're going to do in each episode is talk about ways to disempower the parts of it that are diminishing and don't serve us anymore, and level up or empower all those superpowers. So join me in the next episode of Liberate Your People Pleaser. Welcome to another episode of Liberate Your People Pleaser. So today I'm going to take you behind the scenes of what it's like to work with me as your life coach. It's very similar to working with a personal trainer. So we're going to use that as our metaphor. So to start with, you go to a personal trainer to improve or make changes in the body you have, not when you've had, an injury or something that you need physical therapy for. So there's a difference, between what you would go to a physical therapist for and what you would go to a personal trainer for. So I'm your personal trainer of the heart and soul. And so just like with your personal trainer, you can expect to have real results that are measurable. So the way that looks for me when you work with me is that what you're going to find is you respond to a situation differently, or maybe something that triggered you before doesn't trigger you now, or maybe it did, but you caught it. You understand why it's triggering to you. And so you change your reaction or your response to it. So things will happen that are very tangible. I'm a very practical person. So I love high ideals. I'm deeply spiritual. And so I am really into all those sort of ethereal, maybe is the word, aspects of life and spirit and living in oneness with the divine. And I'm very pragmatic. So I also want to take that and say, okay, well, so that's great when I'm meditating or I'm on the beach or whatever, and I'm in this state where I feel just total bliss and oneness with the divine. And if when I leave that, when I come out of the meditation, when I come back home, or I get cut off on the highway, if none of that does me any good, if I can't change the way I'm behaving in the world, then to me, it doesn't, it has limited purpose. Okay. So I don't want to live just like in a ethereal place. I live in the real world. And so I want those ethereal, spiritually connected moments to translate into behaving differently. So that's what we do in coaching. You don't have to be spiritual. I often don't talk about spiritual things in a coaching session unless my client happens to be super spiritual, because that's my thing. So it doesn't have to be your thing. The point is, where are you? Like, for instance, let's take my newest package, which is be seen, be heard, being seen and heard in your relationship. Okay. So that's for anybody in a relationship. I don't care if you just started dating somebody, if they're your boyfriend, girlfriend, if you're living with them, you're lovers, you're married, it doesn't matter. You're in relationship with them and you're not feeling seen and heard. It's really easy for people pleasers to get into relationships where they don't feel seen and heard. It also happens a lot in the workplace, okay? Romantically and in the workplace is where it happens the most. And so when you take my package, which I've just expanded, I'm super excited about this because based on some feedback I had, which fits in perfectly with our topic today, I have added a new VIP level of Be Seen and Heard. Okay. That Be Seen and Heard initially was 3 sessions, which you can still get, and a evaluation worksheet. And that's awesome. And right now that's only $397. That'll be a limited time offer. So depending on when you hear this, the price may have gone up, but and that's awesome. And just like 3 sessions with your personal trainer, if you're very out of shape, is going to do some good, but won't take you probably as far as you want to go. I'm adding on this VIP package. So in the VIP package, you're going to get a full 90 days with me. Okay. You're going to get 9 full sessions. You're going to get, of course, the worksheets and evaluation workbook. And then you're going to also get Voxer support. So Voxer, if you don't know it, is just, it's a free app that allows for like voice recording messaging, but you don't have to type everything. And so I know that in relationships, there's always the argument you have, the something that happens that really triggers you or whatever. And maybe you don't have another session planned for a week or 2 or whatever. And you just want some very in the moment or, timely feedback. And so Voxer allows us to do that. You tell me what the issue is. I'll, Voxer back to you, my response and my coaching on how you might handle it or whatever. Because again, we want it to be super practical. So in 90 days, you can really make a big shift in how you are in your relationship, right? That's enough time to start changing the habit, because you probably know, if you've listened to my podcast before, the way I see people pleasing is really, first of all, it's not a problem. It's not something in you that needs fixing. What it is some really delightful dynamics, like being really empathetic, being sensitive, being a great problem solver, being able to sort of intuit or anticipate what people's needs are, being very benevolent and generous, all these really wonderful qualities. They just get distorted, is the word I like to use for them. They get too focused on other people and not enough of it focused back to ourselves. And so what happens, especially in romance, is that means your partner's voice is always sort of the loudest. It may not be shouting and screaming, but it's the loudest because it takes priority. Your partner's wants and needs ends up taking priority. They may not have even asked for that, but you do it in your own mind. I know I did. I did this for years in relationships until I learned to shift it and bring it towards myself, bring that ability to prioritize my own wants and needs, so that it's not just like silly examples, but they happen all the time, right? Is that I wanted to go out to eat tonight. My partner really wants to stay home. And so we stay home and I end up cooking, or we order out, whatever. But that happens on a regular basis instead of, well, I wanted to go out, and so we're going to go out this time, right? It's the kind of that, when do I get to have my turn thing? Because in any one situation in your relationship, it may not be a problem. Like, you're willing to be that flexible or let them let their need take priority. But what happens is that becomes the pattern. That's the habit. And so what we're doing in this package, this VIP package, especially for Be Seen and Heard, is we're giving you time with the support of me, your personal trainer / coach, to change that habit. And you and I both know that's not the easiest thing to do, right? It's easy in concept, but getting ourselves to really start to behave differently, start to communicate differently is, sometimes easier said than done. So having that support of the extra sessions and the Voxer support, I think, is really going to help people make a really long-term evolution and elevation of themselves in their relationship. So I'm super excited about this package. But no matter what you're working on, because I work with people on all kinds of issues, whether it's, romance or career or money issues or all kinds of different things, issues with their adult parents or their or elderly, I should say. Of course, your parents are adults, elderly parents or adult children. All these things, took a long time to get wherever they are, that is getting to be painful to us. And so it's unrealistic to just think, in one or two sessions, I'm going to make a huge change here, right? Like, that's just not being self loving. It's much more self loving to give yourself the um, care that you need and the support that you need for whatever length of time that is, that it takes for you to really have that success and really have that personal evolution in that relationship. And that's what I'm here for. Just like any personal trainer, I am here until you get what you need done. And that doesn't mean you won't get all kinds of improvements that you can feel and articulate every step along the way, because that's what keeps you working with your personal trainer, right? If you got no benefit until the end of the 90 days, you wouldn't stay for the 90 days. And so the same is true when you work with me. You will get benefit every session all along the way. And boy, at the end of 90 days, you're going to be able to see a big change. So I hope you'll join me in the VIP version of Be Seen and Heard. And if you have an issue that's not relationship, romantic relationship oriented, I'd still love to talk to you about it, because like I said, I coach people on all kinds of things. So in the Be Seen and Heard, you'll see a link. I'll put a link in the show notes to go to a page that describes that. And then you'll see a place to schedule a call with me, so we can just have a quick 15-minute chat and make sure we feel like we can work together, right? Just like you want to be able to know you're going to enjoy working with your personal trainer, the trainer needs to know they can really help you with your specific challenge. And so we'll spend that few minutes together and be able to make that determination, and then move forward with the 90-day VIP program of Be Seen and Heard, if that's what's right for you. So I love you guys. I am so interested in what you think about this, my metaphor of the personal trainer to the coach. Does that make sense to you? Does that help you understand, kind of the coaching relationship and what's happening in a coaching session? I'd love to get that feedback, and can't wait to see your appointment pop up in my scheduler to talk about Be Seen and Heard. Thanks, guys. See you in the next episode. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Liberate Your People Pleaser. And I want to take just a minute to share a little more about my special package I have going now to be seen and heard in your relationship. This is a limited time offer at the price I'm offering it. There's the entry level 3-session package. But for those of you who just know you're going to need a little more, or you're wondering if you might, I've got this VIP package. This is a full 90 days with 9 one-on-one coaching sessions plus 90 days of Voxer support. So Voxer is like a app that just makes it very easy for us to voice communicate. You don't have to type everything. We can just record messages to each other so that you'll have the support you need, because I know that 2020 has been hard on a lot of our romantic relationships. And so I wanted to kick the new year off with something that's going to really serve you. And beyond romance, it's going to help you in your work relationships and everything else, because once we sort of figure out this dynamic of being seen and heard and not feeling invisible anymore and not dismissing ourselves or letting others dismiss us, then everything in life changes. So check out the information and sales page. So the link is in the show notes, and you can book your appointment if you think the VIP package might be right for you. Or if you just know you want that 3-session package and start there, you can pay for that online. As soon as you finish your payment, you'll get an email from me to book your first session. For those of you who book your call, to decide if VIP is right for you, then you'll get an email with the link to schedule that call. So actually, no, you're going to schedule the call right from the sales page. It'll take you right to the scheduler, and then we'll figure out what to do on our call together. So I can't wait to hear from you on that. And as always, the show notes will also include a link to join my private Facebook group, Liberate Your People Pleaser, if you haven't done that yet, and a link to ask me a question that you would like to have addressed on Liberate Your People Pleaser. All right, everybody. Love you.